Hi, artists and their adult helpers. In this video, we're going to look at making pictures using Paintsickles. So there's two parts to this. One is going to be making your frozen colors, and the other part is then using those to make a picture. So two parts to the prep. One would be to draw a picture using crayons. It could be just scribbles, it could be shapes, it could be a fun winter picture. But use crayons so that your colors don't completely cover it up. The second part is making your frozen colors that you're going to be painting with. So for that, you're going to need some type of plastic container that you can use to freeze that. That could be ice cube trays. It could be just leftover containers from fruit cups or yogurts, something you've cleaned out. And you want to add water to them. You want them to be a little more than halfway, but do not fill it all the way because it's going to expand when it freezes. And you've got to add something else to it. So we want to give these some color. Here's an example of a green one that I made the night before. And here's a few options you can use. If you have paint, you can use paint. For that, what I would do is add just a couple of drops. You can even use it as an experiment about mixing colors, like I added red, I added yellow, and then your student can even mix that up. And it doesn't take a whole lot. The more you add to that, the more concentrated the color is going to be, but a little bit will go a long way. And one thing I would like to do with these is I use plastic spoons for holders. You don't have to, but it'll encourage your students to use them a little bit more because they don't have to hold the cold. And I use the end, I put this end out just because it gives you a bigger handhold. But I'll put it in there like that, and then that goes in the freezer. So one option is to use those. Option number two is if you have old markers that you're not using anymore, you can put your old marker in there and the color will leak out of them. And then you've made liquid watercolor one. Again, pop a spoon in there and let it freeze. Take the marker out before you put it in the freezer. Last option for colors that are easy at home. If you don't have paint, you don't have an old marker, just some liquid food coloring like you might use in some baking, and just a few drops until you get the color you like. Stir it with that spoon, and then pop those in the freezer, let them freeze overnight, and then you have your frozen paintsickles that you can use. So do that the night before your artwork, and then have your young artist make their picture that they want to do. And then they can hold their paintsicle. This one, I did a fork on the end, but fork, spoon, anything like that that gives them a handle. And then they can just paint over it and give it color. And the room temperature will be enough to help it to melt and give your artwork some color. And it won't cover up the drawing that they did before because you basically have frozen watercolor. I hope you enjoy your frozen artwork. Have a great day. Happy making.